Hi, everybody. My name is Karyn Battey, and welcome to Cooking Show Training Night. Today is Tuesday, November 7th. And this is one of two foundational trainings that if you are new and you want to be successful, you want to make these two particular trainings a priority for sure in your first 30 days. Tonight is the Cooking Show Training Night, and it's everything about the cooking show from the time you walk in that door right through to order processing. And the other foundational training is 2 weeks from tonight on November 21st, also at 7 o'clock, also via Zoom. And that's called Business Basics. And that goes through all the stuff we do behind the scenes to have a successful business. So between the two, you should have a good, strong foundation. Okay, so tonight is all about the cooking show. And I'm gonna find my PowerPoint here. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, so I always think that when you're thinking about something, that's a great quote that I always heard my mother say, start with the end in mind. Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. What do you think, what would you love to get from your cooking shows? When you're done with your kickoff party or your first party, what do you hope has happened?
I want people to have been engaged and to be as excited as we are about the product.
Very good. Yeah, you want them to have had a good time and really get excitement about product. What else?
Well, of course, everybody always says a little bit extra cash is a good thing.
That's true. That's true. We want to get paid, right? At some point, we got to sell some products. So you hope to have some sales. You hope your friends really enjoy it and are excited about it. What else?
Making new connections is always a good thing too.
Right. Making new connections, right? So you hope you get some bookings. You hope you develop a customer base of people who want to come back, right? And maybe some people that even want to join your team. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we hope to get from our parties. But what do you think our customers hope? You know, if you went up to a customer that was coming to your kickoff party and you said to them the night before the party, what do you hope happens tomorrow? What do you think they would say they think makes for a great Pampered Chef experience?
That they get some rewards, that they get.
Customers who are attending?
Oh, not the customers, sorry.
Yeah, just friends attending a party. What do you think they say makes for a great Pampered Chef party experience?
Lots of laughs.
Yes, fun is probably the first thing they say. After all, it's a party, right? They want to have fun. What else do you think they say?
Learning about the new product.
Yeah, they like to get their hands on the products. They like to see what's new from Pampered Chef. Yep. You know what else they say?
What?
Food. They like to eat something. They like to eat something new, learn a new recipe, and depending on the crowd, wine or margaritas. Okay, so I have been with Pampered Chef almost 21 years, and for 20 of those 21 years, I haven't just been a consultant, I've been a trainer as well. And at every training party that I go to, I ask the crowd, okay, we are here to serve you. Okay, so what do you think makes for a great Pampered Chef experience? And that is what they say. Okay, they say they want food, fun, friends, and sometimes wine or margaritas, right? And do you know what? No one has ever said in my nearly 21 years in business when I've asked that question. No one's ever said, I love it when the consultant has the page numbers memorized, as well as the prices. They haven't even said that they like it when the consultant has in-depth product knowledge. Now, I'm not telling you that you should not strive for in-depth product knowledge. You absolutely should. However, it's not what our customers value as the most important thing. And besides, if there's a catalog there or someone has a smartphone to Google it, you got access to all the product information you can ever want at a Pampered Chef party, even though it might not be coming from your mouth. So I hope that right now everybody's taking a big exhale, like, oh, phew, they just want to have food, fun, and friends and play around with some products. Yay. So I hope that gives you some relief. Okay, and what we're going to be talking about tonight is a strategy for you guys to follow. It's pretty tried and true to get through your first few shows, or in my case, 20 years, without having to know anything about the products. Does that excite you to think, oh my goodness, I can get through an entire show and not know anything about the Pampered Chef products?
Yes.
Okay. And hopefully this strategy will get you the sales, the bookings, and the recruit leads you want. And it will also leave your customers saying, that was so much fun. And I got to mingle with my friends. I got to try out a new recipe. So this strategy hopefully will leave everybody feeling great about the Pampered Chef Party. Not just us and not just our customers, but everybody, and our hosts, of course. Okay, but before we get to that strategy, I want to just talk about some of the habits of a successful consultant. Okay, successful consultants get to their parties on time, and on time for us is probably about a half an hour ahead. When I was new, I liked 45 minutes because I really wanted to kind of wrap my brain around things. And the reason why we get there that early is because our job starts as soon as we walk through the door. It doesn't start when we say, okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So it's good for us to be set up so that when the guests start to arrive, we can start interacting with them. And another successful habit that you want to have is that you start your shows on time. Now, on time in the Pampered Chef world has a little leeway. I like to start within 15 minutes of whatever time we've said we're going to start. So if it says 6:30 on the invite, I want to start the cooking part by about 6:45. Why do you guys think that that's important?
Let people get settled.
Yeah, it gives people some time to come because a few people are going to run late. But what if there's more people that are still running late 15 minutes later? Why is it important? Why should we start our shows pretty much on time?
You'll lose people's interest the longer you sit there.
Well, that could definitely happen. You know, especially the people who are on time or a few minutes early. They're probably looking at their watches going, hey, when are things going to get started? We set the culture of our parties by what we do at our parties. And so let's say you've got a party, it's starting at 6:30, but you don't start actually the official Pampered Chef party till about 7. And then a couple of people from that party book, and they have some of the same coworkers, and they invite those coworkers back for 6:30. What time do you suppose those people are going to show up?
7.
Or they're running a little late and now it's 10 after 7. Okay? So you want to start your parties pretty much on time, and you can let the host know it's okay if people are running late. They can jump in and join the fun anytime. But you want to honor the time of your guests. You want to honor the time of your hosts, especially if you're doing parties in midweek, which most of mine are. People usually have to either get up with kids or work or both in the morning. And if we start our shows late, what can happen is people get up and have to leave before we're done, before we've had a chance to talk to them to see if they want to have a party of their own. And what can happen is they give their orders to us or leave them with the host, and they're gone. So we might get an order from them, but we are probably not going to get a booking or see if they want to join our team. Okay? So, and we all said we didn't want just sales at the party. We want to build a customer base and have future bookings. So start your parties on time. And then keep it simple. One recipe. Okay, everybody hold up your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
I will only do one recipe per party.
Only do one recipe per party.
Okay, because our job, we want to leave people wanting more, not wondering, oh, good Lord, when will this ever end? Okay, we have different themes that we can talk up so people can come back and see different products. So we can't possibly show them everything in one night. And usually people have blown their budgets within 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so showing them more product is probably not going to get them to spend more money. It's just going to confuse them as to what they're going to get that night. And again, If we are doing too many recipes, that part of the party goes on and on and on. It runs late, and that's when people hand their orders to the host or put them on the counter and scoot out the door because they have to go. You want to think of your party as sort of setting up a Pampered Chef buffet. And on that buffet is products. On that buffet is the opportunity to host. And on that buffet is the business opportunity. It is not our job to force feed people off the buffet, but it is our job to set up that buffet for them. And if we do a couple of recipes, we're putting lots and lots and lots of product on that buffet, but then we don't have time maybe to get to the other parts of the buffet, like what's in it for them if they have a party of their own, and what's in it for them if they consider the business. And the other reason is the people in the room are thinking, should I host a party? And if they look around and think, wow, this is expensive, look at all the food I have to have on hand, that might discourage people. So for all those reasons, it's really in everybody's best interest to just do one very tool-intensive recipe. Sound good?
Good.
Okay. All right. So when I first arrive at a show, the first thing I do is I figure out where are we going to cook. And usually it's the biggest, flattest surface in the house. Sometimes it's the kitchen table or an island or a peninsula, or sometimes we move the table out to the living room or have a card table set out there. Whatever. We've got to be ready to kind of improvise. A really great thing is in the beginning, when you're hosting and maybe you don't know the setup of the house, ask the host to send you a picture of the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, and you can kind of get a feel for, how might I set up for that party? So this is my kitchen, and I set it up for a party. So tell me what you notice about this setup.
Multiple stations.
Yeah, and it's all around the perimeter of the table, okay? So there's products with ingredients that go with it. There's cutting boards, and everything's just kind of around the perimeter. So do you know where the front of the room is there?
No.
There's really no front of the room, right? Okay, so the first thing I do is I set up and I get ready for the party. Notice that the zucchini there has been washed and I trimmed off the ends. I don't know if you can tell, but the batter bowl has a sweet potato in it. It's been peeled. Yes, we have a great vegetable peeler, but it's not something that needs to be demoed. Everybody knows how a vegetable peeler works. However, they don't really know how to spiralize it. That's what we want people to get their hands on. So all the food has been prepped a bit, washed. Next to the garlic press is a little prep bowl and has 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Even though the recipe doesn't call for that many, I pulled them off the bulb so they're easy to get at. I put extra there so that if more people want to use the garlic press, they can. Okay, so this is kind of ready to go to make a recipe together. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you want to do. Why do you want to do that first? Well, if a host forgot an ingredient, she has plenty of time to text her friends or call someone who's on their way to say, hey, I got powdered garlic. Do you have some real garlic that you could bring with you? So you've got plenty of time to sort of fix any issues if you need to. So any questions about the setup of the party, the setup of the products and ingredients?
I just have one thing to add, Karyn.
Mm-hmm.
Not every kitchen you go into is going to look like this. Okay, this is the perfect setup for the perfect kitchen. What we have found that have been in business for, by the way, this is Michelle Weinstein. I'm also a director on Karyn's team. I kind of sit in the background and interject every once in a while. But we do our trainings together. But what I want to point out to you is when you go to a hostess's house, it's very rare that it's going to be as perfect as this. So you have to go in with a mind of, I can improvise.
Yeah.
You know, I can do a demo on a card table. I can do a demo on a coffee table. Not everyone's kitchen will support a setup like this. So be prepared in your mind's eye to improvise once you get there.
Yeah, and I am so sorry I didn't introduce. We've got a couple of directors on here. Michelle Weinstein is not just a director; she's actually an advanced director.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have Belinda Renaud at the bottom of the screen. She looks very official with her headset on. She's waving. She's also a director. We do our trainings together. It's true. And one thing, a lot of times we're on people's kitchen tables. When we're cooking around someone's kitchen table, I remove the chairs. Okay, so that we're not trying to lean over the back of chairs to use these products. I'll move the chairs, or not me personally, but we'll move the chairs into maybe the living room where we're going to gather later after the cooking's done. So the chairs are all out there with, you know, everything that people need. So for the shopping and eating part, and that way this part's set up for the cooking. Yeah, and like I said, you can have the host send your picture ahead of time if you find you want to wrap your brain around it. Now, the very next thing I do after kind of figuring out where we're going to cook and setting up those things is figure out where you're going to do the checkout. So back into my house, I don't know if you can tell, but to the left of the dining room, oh gosh, it's backwards. So to the right is like a little family room. So if I were going to be doing the show, the party here, we'd be cooking on the island, we'd eat at the dining room table, and then I'd probably do the checkout in the family room. My personal preference is to do the checkout a place that's a little bit set aside so that you've got some quiet time to talk with people. However, not down the hall and through a door, because you want to be able to kind of hear people's questions. If they're talking after you've started processing orders. Now, with the checkout, the things you want to have with you, the setting up the checkout for me is quite easy because I have everything I need in one bag. I have my calendar. That's what you see here in the top left. I can use a paper calendar. I'm old school. Look at my big, huge paper calendar. You can use your phone. You can use your iPad, whatever you use. To the right of the calendar on the screen are our host packets. I always bring 3 host packets at least to every party because I would like to book 3 parties from every show I'm at. Okay, so you get what you need to make host packets in your kit. However, they are not specific to a month. So you will need to go on to Consultant's Corner, to Marketing Imagery, where you will find when you get to marketing imagery, it'll say host, guest. And so you click on the host and it'll have the months. And so you print off the host special for the month that you're booking. And then you click on guests and it'll have all the different months. They usually post 2, maybe 3 at a time. So you click on the month that you're booking and click on the guest special. And in that same screen, you'll see an outside order form as well. So you print out a few of those and pop them in the host packet. So when you have your kickoff party, have a few of these ready. If you're still booking November, have 1 or 2 made up for November. If that's going to fill your month, then have another 1 or 2 made up for December as well. At the bottom left, you see the Life Tastes Great. That is a brochure with business information. You've got those in your kit. You'll want to have those ready at your checkout as well for people who are interested in the business. That little purse represents, you're going to want to have a little bit of change on hand for when people pay by cash. They might need, you know, change for a 20 or a 50 or whatever. I don't carry that much money with me to a show. I might carry a 5, a few ones, and some pocket change. It's rare that people pay by cash, but some do. And then on the right, you'll want to have, when you're new, a calculator. I do bring a laptop to my parties. However, I don't recommend that when you're brand new because, to be honest, the least important thing you're doing during that checkout is adding up their order. The most important thing is talking to them, see if they had a good time, see if they want to, you know, seeing what their needs are for the future. Fundraisers, bridal shows, parties, and the business. So in the beginning, until you can use the website in your sleep, just bring a calculator along. So I have everything all in one bag. So checking, setting up the checkout station is just a matter of pulling a few of these out and having them ready to go. The other thing I do at this point is, as I'm setting out my checkout station, because I do bring my laptop, I look for the nearest teenager to sign me into the internet. They always know the code. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is, as your guests are coming into the party, I don't think I have a thing for this. Even before we get to the opening of the show, let me ask you a question. As a culture, do we invite strangers into our homes?
No.
No, we don't. Not so much, right? And yet, as consultants, it's kind of what we're hoping happens. Although I have to say, I'm scared to go into strangers' homes. I have never felt like I was going into a stranger's home. Because I meet someone at a party, and then we talk before their party to get everything planned, so I don't feel like I'm walking into a stranger's home. But because of that, we need to be very intentional about becoming fast friends, or at least not strangers, with the people who are coming to the party. And that's why we want to get there early, because part of what we do as guests are coming in is we greet them. Anybody consider themselves to be shy? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, good. So as people are coming in, you want to greet them. Hi, my name is Karyn, and yours is? And they tell you their name. And then I ask them how they know the host. So if Michelle's our host, I will say, so I'm so glad you can make tonight. So tell me, how do you know Michelle? And they'll usually—
Because I'm her.
Yeah. They'll say maybe we work together, or our kids are in the same sports team, or they go to school together, whatever. And then I ask one follow-up question. So if they say they work together, I say, oh, that's interesting. What do you do? Or if they say, our kids go to school together. Oh, how many kids do you have? What ages are they? So I'm not talking pampered chef as soon as they walk in the door. It's just some, get to know you sort of questions. But my parties are a hands-on experience, and I want to plant that seed and start that culture from the time people walk in the door. So Jennifer Plord, if you were the first person that walked into Michelle's party, after I introduced myself and everything, I'd say, and by the way, Jennifer, give yourself 20 points for being first. Probably go, wow, you wouldn't even really know what it was about, but how can it be bad, right? And then I would say, Jennifer, do you want an extra 20 points?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to put you in charge of name tags, okay? So when people come in, I just want you to greet them nicely, ask them how to spell their name, and write it nice and big for me because I'm kind of blind, and give them a name tag. And I'm going to I use not name tags because those are expensive compared to mailing labels. I use a sheet of mailing labels. Okay, so now Jennifer is going to be greeting people and giving them all a name tag. Now, if Belinda is the next person who walks in the door, now Jennifer is greeting her, going, hey, how you doing? My name's Jennifer, and Belinda's introducing herself. Now, if Belinda doesn't already know Jennifer, there's a really good chance that Belinda is going to think that Jennifer's the consultant. Funny. And then after that, I'll say, hi, Belinda, my name's Karyn. So how do you know Michelle? And now she's a little confused. She's like, oh, you're the consultant. Oh, okay. And then I'll say, hey, you get 10 points for being early. And she's like, woohoo. But now Jennifer's going, hey, I got 20. First. And then I'll say, hey, Belinda, would you like an opportunity to kind of catch up on the points a bit? I could give you a little job. And usually Belinda will be like, yeah. So now Belinda's going to be in charge. She's going to be the catalog queen. I'm giving her a stack of catalogs that have order forms in the front of them, and a mug full of pens, and she's going to make sure everybody's got a catalog and a pen. So now Jen Aruda shows up. She walks through the door. Jennifer Plord gives her a name tag. Belinda comes up and gives her a catalog and a pen, and Jennifer has no idea who the consultant is. She's looking around, and then I come up and I start talking with her. She has no idea I'm the consultant, but then I give her points and I give her job. So now, as people are coming in, do you think I have any problem with gathering all the guests around and cooking together. Do you think there's anybody thinking, I'm just going to sit on a chair tonight and watch? No. Yeah. The next person, and I just start giving people any job I can think of. I usually have my wine bottle opener with me. So if they're serving wine that night, I'm going to put someone in charge of that. I also tell people we're going to be cooking together. So you want to give your hands a quick wash and then grab a glass of wine or a beverage of your choice, because we're going to be cooking. So I've planted that seed. It's a pretty big seed. We're going to be cooking together. And so people are just kind of gathered around. They're all chit-chatting with each other. Like I said, I don't bring up Pampered Chef in the beginning, but I'm setting the stage that this is going to be an all-in event, that people are going to be gathered around and we are going to be cooking together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And name tags are going to be key. Not only is it helpful for us as the consultant, but it helps other guests who might not know each other. These people are going to be gathering around and cooking together, and it helps them as well communicating with each other. Okay. All right. So now the guests are all there. It's been about 10 or 15 minutes. Most people have been chatting for a while. And, even though one or two guests might not be there yet, we say to the host, that's okay. We want to honor everybody's time. It's okay if they come late. We don't need to for a while. Let's go ahead and get started. So your first sort of official introduction to the people in front of you is your opening to your show. Now, your show opening, even though we call it a show opening, it's really rather informal. It's just for you to introduce yourself to the guests so that you're not a stranger. It's like introducing a new friend. Okay? If you just introduce someone to a friend of yours, you don't give them their entire life story. You give them sort of a brief, this is my friend so-and-so, we know each other, they're from blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you're gonna give a brief introduction, 90 seconds at the most. And it does plant some seeds, okay, as far as products and bookings sometimes. So your intro can include what you did before Pampered Chef, what attracted you to the business. If you had any hesitations, you could address them. You could tell people, share what your hesitations were, and what you found out once you gave it a try, or what you most enjoy. So it's kind of just explaining how you came to be in front of them wearing this apron. And it is something that we recommend you write out and practice. A lot of what goes on at a party, at a Pampered Chef party, is very organic. It just kind of bubbles up. But your opening should actually be pretty intentional. Hey, Belinda, can I put you on the spot and have you share your show opening? There we go.
Oh, I kind of thought you were going to do this. My head is there.
Okay.
I can't see her.
You don't want to see me right now.
Oh, there she is. Hi.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, God, here she is. You can't see my face. It's all red, right? So anyway, so hi, everybody. How are you all doing? I'm so glad you could make it today. My name is Belinda, and I've been with the Pampered Chef for 7 years now. And when I first started, oh, man, I just thought I was going to do it for a little bit. But, oh, my goodness, I just cannot stop. I'm a builder, and I work a full-time job plus hours. But I always find time because my Pampered Chef business is just... it calms me. So I have a couple of rules to every party. The first rule is to have fun. I want everybody to have fun. And the second rule is to have more fun, because I just love to have everybody laughing and everything. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get this party going. So how is everybody here ready to have some fun?
Woo-hoo.
Something like that, real quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes it changes depending on the
Yep.
people that are there.
That's awesome. So we all have our own style. So what do you think about her style? What do you think? Now, you just come to Belinda's party. What are your thoughts?
Very down to earth, and you can tell you're gonna have a good time.
Yes, you just know there's going to be fun happening tonight because there's two rules and they're both about fun, right? And you know, she's down to earth, relatable, approachable. She told what she does for a living. So if all of a sudden you work full time, you're thinking, oh, I guess maybe you might not think it at the beginning, but throughout the party, if you're having a good time and you're thinking, I can't believe she gets paid to do this, then you're thinking, you know, instead of, I don't have time for this. Wow, she owns a building company. Yeah, and she's got time to do it. Maybe I do. So yeah, so you're setting the stage, you're setting your tone. Pampered Chef has a reputation, right? People know our product. When they think Pampered Chef, they usually think quality product. They usually think this is going to make my life easier. Okay, that's the Pampered Chef brand. Okay, but we each have our own brand. Or we're going to develop our own brand. Whether we do it intentionally or not, we will develop a brand. You don't have to be like Belinda. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like Michelle. You need to be you, okay? Be the best you. Be true to who you are. And so set that stage right from the beginning with your intro. But I have to say, if you're in the Battey organization, we are all about fun. So if you're being true to you, I hope part of that is being fun because that's really important. Okay, there's a lot of ways to make a living, but not very many of them are quite as fun as much fun as we get to have. Okay, so Belinda, thank you for doing that off the cuff. Okay, all right. So after the strong opening, oh, there it is. Be intentional, scripted. Oh, read it out loud in front of a mirror with a big smile. Okay, and keep it short. Short's always better than long when it comes to talking about yourself. Do you ever go on a bad date? Just keep going on and on and on about themselves. Bad first date. Okay. If you want, we recommend that you script out your story and send it to your director. Okay. Because we can help you if you need it. We might just give you a big thumbs up and go, wow, that's awesome. Keep it just like that. Or we might make a suggestion or two. Okay. All right. So now, if you got the email that I sent, or that your director sent to you with the handouts, one of the things that you should see is an outline. This is the first page of the outline. Okay. I still carry this to every show in a page protector. Michelle, Belinda, do you guys use an outline at your parties?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I point out that I'm using an outline.
Yeah.
And I explain why.
Yep. And you read right off of it during your show?
Right off it. Yep.
And so do I. So if we do it, certainly you guys can do it. You don't have to put this all to memory, okay? And actually, it's better that you don't because it makes our job look easier. And it makes, you know, your friends say, oh, I could probably join her in this. She can give me the magic outline too. Okay, so remember I told you I was going to show you a way you can get through an entire party without knowing anything about the products at all? Here it is. So when you're ready to get started, after you thank the host and introduce yourself, you say, okay, everybody, so we're going to be gathering around and we're going to be cooking together. Because one of the best things about Pampered Chef is that you get to try before you buy. But before we get started, who likes free stuff? Who would love to win a prize? Usually everybody's hand is going up. Okay, well, you guys are going to be earning points tonight. Okay, I have them take out the receipt that's in the front of their catalog and flip it over. I have them draw a line down the middle of the paper, and on one side, they're going to keep track of their points, and on the other side, they're going to keep track of their wish list. I tell them anything that they see that they think they might want in their kitchen or maybe as a gift for someone else, jot it on the wish list. On the other side, write my points at the top, and then I tell them how they're going to get points that evening. First of all, when we're using a product, whoever the first person is to holler out the correct page number, they're going to get 5 points for that. Okay, guys, why is that good for us, that they yell out the page number?
Because we don't have to know it.
Amen. Right. Yep. And you know what? Now, not only do we not have to memorize the page number, but what's on that page number besides the product? What's that?
All kinds of products.
Yeah, it's got a description of the product. It's got the price. After the price, to the right of the price, is a circle with a number in it. Do you know what that number corresponds to?
Warranty.
Warranty. Yeah. What do you think it means if there was a capital DWS at the end of the description of the product?
Dishwasher safe.
Dishwasher safe. Right. So now someone yells out that page number, and guess what? All of that information is right there for everybody to see. So that means you don't have to put any of that to memory. You just have to say 5 points. And I'll tell you, a lot of times, you know, we'll use the product at a show, and someone will say, "What page is that on?" And they'll look at me, and I'll say, "I don't know. Find it. You'll get 5 points. Come on." I mean, I just tell them I have no idea. I still don't know the pages. I know like 2 of them. Now, the next thing is they get points for sharing cool uses for a product. We award them cool use points. Why is this important?
Because it may bring up an idea, a use of the product that somebody doesn't know.
Right, yeah, especially us. Now, so people who own it, usually it's the people who own it, are sharing all these ideas. Now, Belinda, Michelle, and I probably are walking Pampered Chef encyclopedias. And we probably could stand up and give all kinds of uses for the products at the front of the room. Why is it not a good idea to do that, even if you have tons of ideas about the products? Why is it better that it comes from the guests?
Keeps them interacting.
That's a big part of it, yes. Yeah, it makes it interactive, okay? But there's another big reason.
Well, I don't know.
It's who's making commission? We are, right? So they might think, oh yeah, they'll just rave about anything because they're making money tonight. But when the person sitting next to them, or standing next to them, that they've worked with as a coworker for the last 10 years, that they know and trust, starts raving about the product, don't you think that's going to carry way more validity than anything we could say?
Yes.
So, you know, you let them holler out what they would use for it. And if you have an idea that you want to share after everybody else is done, say, yeah, and you know what I'd love to do with it, da, 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 da. But let most of it come from the guests. Now, the other thing that we give them points for is making us laugh, okay? Every time they make me or the host laugh, they get points. Why? Because we want it to be fun. Everybody said they wanted to have fun. So now if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm not a stand-up comic, I don't know if I can make people laugh, well, that's okay. You don't have to. Just like you don't have to memorize the page numbers. You just have to give a room full of people, offer a room full of people 5 points every time they make you laugh. And I promise you, at least 1 or 2 people are going to say, great, I'm not finding page numbers. I'm just going to be funny tonight. And they are going to make that their mission. And every time they make you or the host laugh, they're going to be making everybody laugh. So it's going to be fun. And then you want to have a printout of the host special of the month that you're booking, the guest special, and the sign-on bonus, and a copy of the recipe. And then you say, okay, I need 4 people who want an extra 20 points, show of hands. And then you give them each a job. 1 person is going to be the recipe reader. 1 person is going to shout out what the special is. Another person is going to shout out what the host bonus is. And the other person is going to say, and if you want a job with the Pampered Chef, guess what you get this month? Okay, so you're going to give all these people jobs. Okay, and then you say, okay, everybody, let's gather around. If you haven't had a chance to wash your hands, now's the time. I go and wash my hands again. Like, you know, we called it the public washing of the hands. And then we all gather around, and here's the 3-question show that is right on your outline. Everybody's kind of looking at you because you're the consultant, and you just say, okay, recipe reader, tell everybody what we're making and what's the first step. Now, when that person starts talking, where do all the eyes in the room go?
Straight to the reader.
To the recipe reader. So the recipe reader says, oh, we're making a salted caramel spice cake. And you start off by da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so they tell the first step of the recipe. Now you turn to the person who's near the product and you say, okay, so we're going to start with you. There's that cake mix. Go ahead and grab it and put it into the batter bowl. Hey, who can find the batter bowl? Okay, because that's page number 2. That's question number 2. Who can find that in the book and holler out the page number? Hey, who can find the batter bowl in the book and holler out the page number? Now they're flipping through. They holler out the page number. Great. Anybody own it and want to share a cool use for it? And they'll start sharing cool uses. Now, if you can share a use for the product, great. But if you're so nervous you can't even say your own name, that's okay too. Okay, and when all the ideas are done being shared and whatever step of the recipe has been completed, you just look at the recipe reader and say, okay, what's next? They read the next step. Whoever's near that product starts doing their thing. Hey, who can find that in the book? They're hollering out page numbers. They're sharing uses for it. And on it goes. And by the way, you don't have to wait for one step of the recipe to be done. If it's something that's repetitive and takes a while, as soon as you've kind of done the cool stuff with that product, move on. So while 1 or 2 people might be finishing that step, you're looking at the recipe reader going, okay, meanwhile, what are we doing next? And you're getting started with that next thing. And you just keep going like that till the recipe's done. How does that sound?
Sounds very fun.
Yeah, fun. And does it sound easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So after the recipe is done and it goes into either the microwave or the oven, then if you look on the outline, the thing that we do next is what's called the booking slide. Okay? That can be found on Consultant's Corner we order it as a paperwork supply. However, if you want one right away before your very first party, you can go on to your team's Facebook group, go under files and type in booking slide, and then put about, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 pieces of paper in the printer and just press print. Okay? Because it's going to print out one benefit of hosting on each page. You put them in page protectors. You can either put them in a binder or you fold them out and tape them together so that it looks like this when you hold it up. Okay? Now our guests think that's for them. It's a great visual, especially when it's all folded up and you say, check out what you can get when you host a party. And this thing comes out and they're like, whoa, what's that? So it's a great visual. So they think it's for them, but really it's for us. Because now, what don't you have to memorize?
All the benefits.
Exactly right. You can just say, look here, you get 3 products up to whatever, and you get up to 5 half-off items, and you get this and you get that, and you just whip through that slide. And the purpose of the booking slide is not to give a bunch of in-depth information about hosting, okay? It's about piquing interest. So this is really a 30 to 45 second thing. Okay? And that gives them an idea of why they would want to have a party in general. Okay? Because the booking slide is something you can use all year round. However, you also want to give them a reason to book a specific month. So our Jennifers, because that's all the people that I can see right now with this PowerPoint open. What month are you guys currently booking?
November and December.
November and December, okay? So if you have openings in November, okay, so you want to think about why is the end of November a great time to have a party? So I'm going to put our directors on the spot again. Belinda and Michelle, what's the best reason to have a party toward the end of November?
Well, I would say because you don't have to worry about snow. generally.
Yes.
People are going to buy Pampered Chef products anyway. They may as well buy them from you at your show so you get benefits for them.
Yep.
And it's before the hustle and bustle of holiday parties and people, doing Christmas shopping out and about all the time. One central place to come, sit down, have something to eat, and shop right from the catalog.
Yep. Belinda, she was very thorough. Anything else that you can add to that?
Did you say why I would want to have a show before the end of November?
Right.
I want to get paid before December.
Oh no, but I mean, but why one of our customers at a show would want to have a party in November?
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't listening.
With that big thing on your head, you're not listening?
Well, I'm kind of doing 3 things at once here.
Okay. Well, what about a rock rocket 60%?
Absolutely. I was just going to say that.
That's a great reason. And one of my favorite things is I'll say to my crowd, how many of you see a lot of family and friends over Thanksgiving? Have your party in November. I'll arm you with catalogs. And you can keep, if your party is right before Thanksgiving, you can keep it open till after, so you can share that catalog. Or if your party is just following Thanksgiving, you can be circulating that catalog ahead of time at Thanksgiving to get outside orders from people who can't make it to your show. Okay, so after the booking slide, I say something like, now this tells you why you want to have a party in general, but I've got 2 dates left before the end of November. And that's a great time because, and then you tell them why. Okay? So you're giving them a reason not just to have a party sometime, but to want November. We want people to book because they're inspired, not because their arm was twisted. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to inspire them to have a show. Now, what do you think is maybe a hesitation someone might have if they went to a party tonight? What might be a hesitation they might have in booking a party, scheduling a party of their own?
It's too much money.
Too much money? Like, oh, I can't have a party, I'm broke right now?
Too close to the holidays. People are traveling.
Getting busy with the holidays, yeah. So those are some hesitations that we hear. There are 3 main hesitations we hear. I don't know if I have enough time, especially now the holidays are coming up. I don't know if I know enough people. And I don't know if my house is big enough or I can fit them in my home. So you want to brag one objection from the front of the room, whatever you think is maybe the most common hesitation. So after you give them some great reasons to have a party in November, you can get a rock rocket 60% off just for breathing and having a party. You can collect all these outside orders around Thanksgiving. And then I say, but I know what some of you might be thinking. How many of you have a concern like, yeah, but everybody's so busy this time of year? Show of hands. And people will nod and they'll raise their hands. So I'll give them a solution for that. And I'll say, but how many of you, yes, you're busy, but you're busy mainly because, oh my gosh, I've got shopping to do. I need to get ready for these holidays, and they're nodding. And I'll say, and you can get that done in 2 hours at a Pampered Chef, in an hour and a half at a Pampered Chef party. You can learn a quick recipe. You can get your kitchen in shape for the holidays with some products that you might need, and you can bang a few Christmas gifts off your list at the same time. And you know what? Your friends can too. And isn't this a much more fun way of doing it? An hour and a half while having fun with friends and sipping on a little wine and having a salted caramel spice cake. Isn't that a great way to get some things done off the list? So I give them a reason to want to have a show, and then I give them a solution for a common hesitation. Okay? Does this take practice? Yes, it does. If all you do in the beginning is hold up the booking slide and do that, and at least tell them they can get a rock rocket 60% off, great. But the goal over time is do the booking slide, give them a reason why whatever you're booking is a great month, and then brag one objection or one hesitation. Okay? And by the way, guys, one of the best things that you can do after this is go to a show of a seasoned consultant. And when you're thinking about this training, think about the things that, you know, some of the things are, you might already think, yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, I know I would do that. And then other parts where you say, ooh, I never thought of that. You want to be looking, really zooming in on that at the cooking show when you go to view it live, okay? And everybody comes to this business with certain things that fall naturally into place. And I will tell you that everyone comes to this business with things that do not fall naturally into place. Okay? And it's okay, because every part of this business is learnable. And we directors, we're not bosses who are going to write up evaluations. No, we are here as guides along the path, and as also sister consultants here to help you, okay? So, you know, every part of this business that doesn't come naturally to you, we are here to help you, because you can learn any part of it. Okay. So after the booking slide, if you look at the, well, I'm going to pause there. Any questions so far? Anything need clarification?
No.
Okay. All right. So the back of the outline is the quiz. So after the booking slide, remember I said we're setting up a buffet, and on that buffet is products, and on that buffet is the opportunity to have a show, and then on that buffet is the business opportunity. So after the booking slide, then you're going to go into the quiz. This is where they can scoop up lots of points for answering questions. Now, we all said that we want to have fun and we want our guests to have fun. So if we stood in the front of the room and just kind of lectured at them at this point, it would not be fun. So we turn it into a quiz because we want to keep them engaged. They want more points so that they can win. So they're all listening. So it keeps them engaged and it makes it fun. I'm not going to go through the entire quiz. I'm assuming you guys know how to read. But do not go to your first party without having read these questions out loud at home first. You don't want to be stumbling over them. But it talks about warranty. It talks about, you know, how long they have from the time their products arrive if they want to return them and not pay to send them back. Talks about, it reviews, you know, the host rewards and things like that. So it reinforces what they're going to get from a show. So it's the quiz, and then after the quiz is the lightning round. And the lightning round is, then we say, okay, you were getting points for answering questions, now you're going to get points for asking questions. And this is our opportunity to set up the buffet, the part of the buffet that talks about the business opportunity. And we're going to give them a chance to ask questions about the business. How many of you think that there are people at every single party who might be interested in the business?
Probability is there.
Yep. How many of you think, well, maybe 10 or 20% of the time there might be someone who's interested in the business?
I would say it's more than that.
More than that, yeah. Now, we never know, but I will tell you, I average 2 to 3 people at every party who at least take some information home. They don't all sign, but they're curious. Sometimes they're taking home the information for themselves. Sometimes they're taking home the information for someone they know. Sometimes they're taking home the information because they think a year down the road it's going to be good for them. But you never know. If you've got 10 people in front of you, each of those 10 people knows 20 people pretty well. So you're not just talking to those 10 people. Your message could potentially be reaching at least 200 people at that one party. Okay? So now, the purpose of the booking slide, I said, wasn't to answer every single question they could have about booking, right? It was to pique interest. Do you remember that? Remember I said that? The booking slide was just to kind of, get them excited and thinking, I want to have a party. Okay, it's not to give them every bit of detail. Same thing is true with the lightning round. The purpose of the lightning round isn't to give them every bit of information they could ever want to know about Pampered Chef, about the business. It's just to pique curiosity. All right, and what you guys can tell them is, I'm brand new. You guys are going to get 25 points for every business-related question you ask, but guess what? If I don't know the answer, which is, really good chances because I'm brand new, you'll get 50 points. Okay, so now if you don't know the answer, they're like, yay, should know the answer, I get 50 points, woohoo, I'm gonna win. All right, and it's okay if you don't know the answer. You know, you can tell somebody in the room, hey, you got a phone, Google that. You find that answer and I'll give you extra points for finding the answer. Meanwhile, you go on to the next question because, they can find the answer to that question later on if they're really interested. What do you think people ask at this point? What do you think people ask at every single show about the business?
What's the time commitment?
Yeah, how much time does it take? What else do you think people ask?
Do you have to keep products at your house?
Yeah, do we carry an inventory? Yep. What else do you think people ask?
How much money do you make?
How much money do you make? Yep. These are the questions we hear pretty much at every single party. So let's talk about how to answer some of those common questions. Jennifer Plord, you said the time commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I tell people is it's about a 4-hour investment for every live cooking show that you do. Okay, you're not in the house, the host house for 4 hours. You're there maybe 2.5 start to finish, but a little bit of work behind the scenes. So about a 4-hour shift total, and you get to choose when. Okay, and then Jennifer Ruda, you said, do you carry an inventory? No, that's one of the greatest things about Pampered Chef. We have our kit, but then when you guys want to order, I just type it into the computer, press send, and Pampered Chef delivers to you guys or to the host. Tammy, you said people ask how much do you make? How would you guys answer that question? Any ideas?
You make as much as you put in.
That's actually a pretty decent answer, yes. But the national show average right now is $650 for a live cooking show, for a cooking show. Now, do you guys know what we make as consultants? What percentage?
No.
20% when we're starting off.
We make 20 to 25%. Some people never make 20% because as soon as you sold over $750 in a month, you're up to 22%. When you sold over $1,250 in a month, which is 2 average parties, right? With the national show average of $650, you're making 23%. When you sell $2,500 in a month, that's maybe 4 parties, you're making 24%. Over $4,000 a month, which is about 6 to 7 parties, you're making 25%. Now, I'm not going to go into this kind of detail at a party. Someone says, how much money do you make? I say the average consultant who's brand new makes about $125 to $150. And remember, that's a 4-hour shift. Okay. Here's another question we get all the time. How much does it cost to get started? Do you guys know where to find that information?
On the kit site?
It is on the website, but it is also on the inside back cover of the catalog. It's not the back cover. It's open up the back cover. All the 3 kits are there. Okay, so it's right there. And I tell them there's 3 kits. And just so you guys know, the basic kit's $109. It's $450 worth of products. You don't have to memorize this. It's right on the inside back cover. But that's 75% off retail. All the kits are 75% off retail. The middle kit's $159. It's $650 worth of products. And by the way, there's a raw crock in there. How many of you got the middle kit? Anybody get the raw crock in there? And then the big kit, $249 and $1,000 worth of product. Yeah. Another thing that people ask is, what's the commitment? Do you guys know what the commitment is? What do you have to do?
I know that there's a minimum sales every so many months, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. You guys have to do 10 parties your first month. I'm kidding.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Just a joke. Yeah, no, it's not a big commitment. I tell people, if you've ever joined a gym, it's a bigger commitment than joining Pampered Chef. The commitment is you try out a few shows with family and friends. If it's not your thing, well, you still had fun with your family and friends. You still got a kit that's 75% off retail. Your family and friends still bought stuff because whether you're good at this or not, they love Pampered Chef and they're going to buy from you out of pity because they're your family and friends. And after that, you can walk away. A kitchen full of Pampered Chef products, a pocket full of money, and your family and friends will be armed with all kinds of stories to hassle you with for the next few Christmases and Thanksgivings. Remember that time you did that Pampered Chef thing? Right? That's the worst that can happen. Okay, so it's no big deal. I tell people there's no failure. You just successfully maybe discover this isn't for you. But you can stay on it, whatever pace works for you. Right? And yes, Jen, you said you have to do a certain amount. If to remain a consultant, you have to do 115 sales once every 6 months.
Yeah, and I knew it was something super
really minimal. But you know, you want to do parties every month, at least, you know, to remain active and get paid. You know, so you can be inactive. Inactive means you haven't submitted that month, but you're still a consultant. The world doesn't come to an end. But if what you want to be doing is more shows, just be in touch with your director because we're here to help. Okay. What other questions do you think people might ask? Those are the basic ones that people ask. Okay. All right. So if you want, one of the handouts that I sent to you are questions that you can put in mailing labels into your printer, print off the questions, and just peel those and put them on the catalogs. That way you get to decide what people are going to ask you. You can say, well, you can ask me anything, but if you can't come up with a question, there's one on the back of your catalog. You can just read right off of there. And only put the ones on there that you feel comfortable answering. But like I said, it doesn't matter if you can answer all the questions because that's not the purpose. The purpose is just to pique people's curiosity, generate a little interest. Okay, all right. Now, is there anybody thinking, yeah, but people don't come to a show looking for a job, do they? Anybody thinking people do not come to a Pampered Chef show looking for a job? Anybody concerned about that?
Oh, they don't, but we entice them to.
Exactly. Yay! You can tell you've been a consultant before. Yeah.
I think we like the word inspire.
But I think entice is good.
Entice, inspire.
I like that word. Yeah. People don't come to a Pampered Chef party looking for a job. And if you don't do a Q&A round, they won't leave the party thinking they want any information about the business. So don't skip out on this, okay? Because this is a big part of how you can make some great money with Pampered Chef. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Oh, wait a minute, not yet. If you're thinking, I don't think people are going to be interested, here are some interesting statistics. 50% of Americans say they are looking for additional income. All right? So half of everybody in front of you falls into that category. Half of everyone they know falls into that category. 61% of Americans say they would love to be their own boss. The average cost of daycare in New Hampshire for a child under 2 is $1,000 a month.
Horrible.
Yep. Average student loan debt for a New Hampshire state school attendee graduating with a 4-year degree from one of our state schools is $65,000. Okay, so it's not just who's in front of you, it's all of the people they know. And I actually introduce my Q&A round with these stats. I say, if you're all set, think of people you know, and I share some of those stats with them. Okay, and then I invite their questions. Now, how many of you came to this new consultant training, the cooking show training tonight? You want to be directed with the Pampered Chef? Go ahead, raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody? Any? No, of course not. Nobody comes to new consultant training thinking, I want to learn how to be a director with the Pampered Chef. Most of them are like, what the heck is a director? So guess what? For the next couple of minutes, you can ask any of the directors here any questions you've ever wondered about the Pampered Chef business. And Keep track of how many questions you ask, because I will be mailing a prize to the person who asks the most questions. One of your questions could be, what's a director? Okay, that's allowed. All right, so nod when you have a question ready, because this is supposed to be the lightning round, and I hate to say ready, set, go, and have it be crickets. Okay, Tiffany, you might want to unmute, because you will not be able to ask a question if you're muted. Okay, ready, set, go.
What is a director?
What's a director? Jennifer Ford, very good question. It's a person with a pampered chef who has at least 5 active people on their team. So yes, there you go, point for you. Next question.
This is not good for me today.
A little tired after your long day?
Oh, staring at a computer all day killed me. Do you guys, are you constantly getting new, I mean, obviously, getting new consultants underneath you?
Oh, yeah, we don't stop at 5 and say, there, we're done hiring. Yeah, no, we put it out there at every party. Like I said, I get a lot of interest, but not everybody signs right away. You know, statistically, if we see 60 to 80 people at a month's worth of shows, maybe 1 or 2 are going to sign on each month. Yep. But yeah, so just like we want to book parties at our parties and we want to sell stuff at our parties, we want to, you know, put that out there to people. Good question. Tiffany, you must have one. You got to catch up.
I have one. How long did it take for you to become a director?
That's a great question. Well, back when I started in the dark ages, they didn't even let you become a director till you'd been in business 6 months. So I really didn't think about it much, but it took me, from the time I got started, about 11 months. But from the time that I decided I wanted to do it, it was about 4 months. And that's about, you know, 4 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months from the time someone says that's what I want is about average, if they want it.
What's your favorite part about being a director?
Michelle, I'll let you answer that one.
What's Karyn's favorite part about being a director? I can tell you what Karyn's favorite part about being a director. Karyn's favorite part about being a director is training and supporting and helping others grow their business, because Karyn is my director. And I started 18 and a half years ago. And if Karyn had not been my director, chances are I still would not be here 18 years later.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And it's true. Seriously.
I love to train. I love to train.
She does. She loves to train and support.
It's my favorite thing.
What about you, Michelle?
Oh, me? Well, I do like helping other people start their business. I love watching people grow, not just in their business, but personally as well. I can count myself in that I have a lot more confidence than I did when I started my own business 18 years ago. But that's sort of like a plus or a bonus. There are tons of perks as well to being a director. They reward us with reduced trip points. They reward us with
Free products.
brand new spanking free products. When they come out, we get a set for free. We get this is Karyn's favorite, another favorite. She gets a birthday card from Doris on her birthday. She really likes that one. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different perks. Oh, there's extra money too.
Yeah, overrides.
Overrides. Yeah, in my commission check this month, probably more than half of it was overrides and bonuses.
Yeah.
So what are overrides exactly?
Overrides are a perk that directors get for training their teams. It's sort of like an additional percentage. Directors get 3% extra on their sales and the sales of their team as well. And it's compensation from Pampered Chef for training.
Mm-hmm. Great questions.
Great answer, I'd say.
That too. Any other questions? We've got about 20 seconds left.
You guys go to all of the conferences? Because I know, I mean, I don't know how many you guys are a year, and I only went to the one and I loved it.
Yeah. They are
Thank you.
once a year. They're in July or August, and they're for everybody, not just directors. But yeah, we look forward to it every year. They unveil the new products, and it's definitely a blast. And it's great information. We get to meet people from across the country who are doing Pampered Chef, and we get great ideas. And absolutely. All right, who asked the most questions? How many did you ask, Jennifer Lord?
I only asked one. Definitely the other Jennifer.
So
We talk too much sometimes.
So you get an extra prize, but you guys actually all get prizes when you do the two basic trainings, the cooking show training night and business basics. You email me afterwards with your address, and I mail you a little package of door prizey things that you can use. Okay, so how many of you, I asked you before, how many of you came to this training tonight because you want to be a director with the Pampered Chef? And by the way, let me just first say, when you start inviting people, when you guys are new, you do not have to train and support these people. Okay?
I just asked Mel that today.
Yes. So all you have to do is find out, like my first recruit, my first team member came from my very first show. So I said to her, here, you can take this catalog home with you. There's a picture to fit on it. And I'm going to have my trainer give you a call because I'm brand new. And I would rather that she answer all your questions so you can decide if this is for you. And that's what I did. I went home, told my director followed up with her. My director called me back, said, congratulations, you have your first team member. And I'm like, oh my God, that's scary. What does that mean? She goes, well, it's all good. It means you got a raise and and you guys get 100 Pampered Chef dollars when you recruit in your first 90 days. And all this. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah. And with your second person, you get another raise. Instead of a 1% override on your own sales and the sales of your team, you get a 2% override on your personal sales and the sales of your team. And even after, when you are a brand new director, depending on what your life situation is, well, Jennifer Plord, who is your director?
Mel.
Mel.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And where are you for new consultant training tonight?
At my house.
You're at your house with Michelle and I and Belinda, right? So even though Mel is your director, everybody in our organization comes here for Cooking Show Training Night. Everybody in our organization that you meet, you're going to send them here for Cooking Show Training Night. You're going to send them here for Business Basics. You're going to, if they're local, you're going to send them to Southern New Hampshire University for the monthly sales meetings. Okay, so you don't have to work. We have a great network already set in place to support people both local and long distance. And we work together as a director team. Okay, so it's never going to be all on you. And I had no idea what Michelle was going to say, but because I was going to say free product until she said training. And I'm like, yeah, I really do love that. And since it is my passion, you don't have to ever wonder, oh my gosh, is Karyn going to ever kick us out of the nest? No, I love to train. Send your people here. This business transformed my life, and I've been paying it forward ever since. I used to be very shy. I used to also not be able to think that I could afford to be a stay-at-home mom. I was able to be home with my kids and put them through college and fund a retirement and go on free trips and get every product for free. And I couldn't even cook or talk in front of 3 people when I started this business. So I am incredibly surprised and grateful and love to help other people find solutions for what might not come naturally to them. All right, so when I asked before, is anybody thinking about directorship? Nobody raised their hand. How many of you now, a quick little Q&A, are thinking, maybe someday? Okay. All of you raised your hand. So do you see what a simple little Q&A round does? Okay, so just like nobody comes to a show looking for a job, but a quick little Q&A round, it doesn't mean they're all gonna join your team that day, but you've planted a seed. And all of a sudden their hours might get cut back, or they might, need a new boss that they don't like, or, find themselves moving, and all of a sudden it's like, I think I'm gonna call that person back and do it. You guys have the opportunity to earn what's called fast track bonuses. When you promote to director in your first 90 days of business, Pampered Chef is going to give you a $500 cash bonus. You won't be the first ones to earn it on our team. If you are thinking that approximately 2 shows a week, whether they're live or virtual, on average, so about 6 to 8 parties a month on average, live and virtual, is a pace that's good for you, it puts you in front of enough people to earn this. Okay, so if this is that you'd like more information about, definitely talk to your director. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the title Fast Track, because Fast Track sounds like, oh, I have to work really quickly, you know, but I think that fast responds to the results you can get, not the pace with which you need to work. Because like I said, 6 to 8 parties a month is probably going to put you in front of enough people to make this happen. It's really about just working with intention and working closely with your director. And you can earn up to $2,000. So that's pretty sweet. So I hope you guys go for it. Okay, so we're back at the party. And we finished up the Q&A round. Any questions about the Q&A round? Or the quiz or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. So after that, you say, okay, and I give them 50 extra points for filling out the survey slip. There's a little survey slip that comes in your kit. I also, in the email that you got with the handouts, there's a survey slip that I use that have the numbers 1 through 10 and some questions on it. So it's not just a yes, no, it's 1 through 10. I like those. If you like them too, feel free to use those. So you can give people 50 extra points for completing their survey slip and handing it to you. All right. And then you have them add up their points. And you give away a little prize. I went to the dollar store. They have these really cute wine glasses with fall leaves on them. $1 a piece, obviously, at the dollar store. And I put 2 of them with a ribbon around it, and that's what I gave as a door prize. Okay. People love them. I have winter ones that have snowflakes on them. So really, you can use anything. You can use a Paper Chef, you know, product if you want something small like a Season's Best. But, you know, feel free to go to the dollar store and pick up some cute little tchotchkes. People don't care what the price is. They just love having something for free. And then it's time to wrap up the show. So at this point, you can bring the food out, okay? Even if the food was done 5 minutes before, do not bring out the food till you're done the Q&A round, because once people see the food, that's it, you've lost them, okay? So you gather up all the slips and you say, okay, it's time to eat. You put it out and you say, so now you guys, you get to just chat and eat and shop. But you let them know where you're going to be doing the orders, okay? And I gave you another handout is something to say to sort of wrap up the show. Thanks again for coming. When you're ready, I'm going to be placing orders over here, forms of payment, all that kind of stuff. There is something new that's called the Express Checkout. So if you're at a party and you are using either the mobile app or you're hopping right online and entering the orders into the show, you can give people the code number for that show, and they can go right online and put their own order into the party. You don't even have to type it in. It's wonderful. When you go to the show of a seasoned consultant, make sure you're not just watching what they do during the cooking part, but afterwards during that full service checkout. Be right next to them. First of all, you can see how the software works if you haven't seen it yet, but more importantly, hear the conversations that happen with the customers. Everything that we do during that show really comes to fruition during the checkout. We do not want people throwing their orders and leaving, because if they walk out the door, we will probably never get a chance to talk to them again. I mean, yes, at the beginning, you know the people at the shows, but pretty quickly on, it's friends of friends. And it's hard to get people back on the phone. Or should you text them? Or should you use Facebook Messenger? Oh, wait a minute, we're not friends on Facebook. And is this a landline? Should I be texting it? You know, so it's hard to get in touch with people. So really, you want to have that time to talk with them at the checkout. Now, If you started your party on time, if the party was supposed to start at 6:30 and it started at 7:15, usually by 7:30, 7:45, people are done eating. Are they rushing out the door at that point? Not usually. In fact, some of them are looking at their watch going, my daughter's still up. I'm not leaving. I'm just hanging out for at least 15 more minutes. Those kids have got to be asleep by the time I get home, right? So it's not like a cashier at a grocery store where they're like, hurry up, my ice cream's melting. I got to get it back home. Most people, after they get their order processed, do you know where they go?
Back out to mingle.
Yes, they don't even leave. They go back and hang out. They just came and got their order done because they were ready. And now they don't have to worry about when they're ready to go. They can just leave. They don't have to come to us. So yeah, people aren't rushing out. So you do have a chance to have, you know, a 2 to 3 minute conversation with people. And believe me, when they're not interested in things, you will know it. You will get a very firm and quick no, and then it's not even a 2 to 3 minute conversation. Okay?
Yeah, it's fast and furious.
Fast and furious, yeah. So talking about what's in it for them if they hosted when you held up the booking slide is not the same as inviting someone to host. Okay? And answering a Q&A round about the business is not the same as inviting people to take home information about the business or inviting them to join your team. Most people who become consultants and most people who schedule parties have hesitations. Most of the people in my calendar right now are not people who just walked up and said, and I said, so do you want to have a party? And they said, yes. Didn't happen that way. It's like 2 that I can look at that were like that. Most people have hesitation, so we need to have a conversation. The reason why I like to use the survey slips that have the 1 through 10 on it is because it's so easy to open up that conversation. And if they have a hesitation, it's easy to find out what that hesitation is. And that's what we want to do. We want to find out what their hesitation is. We want it to be our mission to be a solution finder. Okay, it's not my goal to twist people's arms and convince them to have shows if they don't want to have them. It's my goal to help people who want to have parties have them. Okay? These are the common hesitations we hear. I'd love to, but I'm too busy. Oh, these are, sorry, hesitations to the show. Wait a minute, where are my booking ones? Ah, okay, I guess we're doing business first. Okay, so someone sits down and you've got the survey slip in front of them and it says they've circled a 4 about the business. So Jennifer Plord, you're gonna be my first one. Did you have a good time tonight?
Yes.
You did. That's great. I'm so excited. So, and this was your first time seeing the Rock Croc, huh? Pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you find everything you wanted?
Yes.
Ah, okay, great. So, hey, I was just wondering, you seemed to have a great time tonight, and you were asking a lot of questions during that Q&A round, and I noticed you circled a 4 about the business. So, I'm just really curious, what makes it a 4 for you?
Well, these were my real life answers. I have a full-time job. I have 2 little kids. My husband and I are both in school. So I don't know that I have the time, but I'm going to try it out. So.
Yeah. You know what, Jennifer? You're like the trifecta. You got it all. Kids, work, school.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would say to you at a party is, you know what, Jennifer? Those sound like valid concerns. And they are the same concerns that many, many consultants have. And what I find is that the busier people are, the more appealing Pampered Chef is, because it is truly a pocket of time business, and you can do it as much or as little as you want, and you can fit it around as your school calendar changes from semester to semester. You can fit this right in. Mm-hmm. So, you know, is that something you'd like to learn more about?
Yes, clearly it is.
All right. So, but a lot of times people like Jennifer might say, oh, I could never do this because I'm so busy. That's not a no. That's saying, I don't think I can do this because of X, Y, Z. If they knew that they could be just a virtual consultant and do parties all online, Or if they knew that they could just do one live party a month, if that's all that worked for them, but they could still make an extra $125, $150, maybe even $200 a month, do you think that that busy person might change their mind?
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to have a conversation. And can you also see why having the numbers 1 through 10 makes it so easy to kind of find out what's going on in people's minds? You circled a 4. What makes it a 4 for you? They know they're handing these survey slips in. They know we're going to talk to them about it. They chose to circle a 4. Now, let's say Jennifer was asking a lot of great questions during the Q&A round, but she circled a 1, which means no, never. I might say to Jennifer, I am shocked that you circled a 1 about the business. You were asking so many questions. Okay, you're going to have a really good reason why you circled 1. And I might just, so this definitely takes time to develop a comfort level for this. But if you can at least start with just saying, I noticed you circled fill in the blank about the business opportunity. I'm curious, what made you circle that number? Find out what their hesitation is. And then, oh, sorry, the cat is scratching my couch. Stop it. My daughter came home from Washington, D.C. and brought her 2 cats. They don't know the rules of my house yet. Okay, so, and no matter what their hesitation is, you can say, that sounds really valid. But you might be surprised to find out Fill in the blank if you can. And if not, say, you know what? Would you like to just take some information home? And then maybe, because I'm brand new, but the person who trained me, gosh, has been doing this since Moses was a child. I bet if there's a solution, she'll have it. I took that quote from Mary, because that's how she's another director on her team, and that's how she introduces me to her team. This is Karyn. She's been selling Pampered Chef since Moses was a baby. So anyway, so too busy. We talked about that. Sometimes they say, I'd love to, but I have no idea who might have parties. And then I'll say to them, you know what? We brainstorm together. We don't expect you to line up those parties by yourself. If I could assure you that before you ever signed, we could definitely brainstorm together and find some parties for you. Would you want to learn more? Okay. They say they can't cook. Say, yeah, the people cook at the shows, right? I don't hear I can't cook anymore because we're all cooking together. So nobody's worried about that. And I also don't hear very often I can't talk in front of people, because the only thing we're doing is the quiz that we read right off of in front of people. So I don't even hear that much anymore. But you can let people know, oh, we'll give you there's an outline. I'll share it with you. You don't really have to say much of anything if you can read off of this paper for a few minutes. Okay. So offer them a quick solution and then say, would you like to take some information home? And the person who trained me has been doing it for a long time. And we can see if we can address your hesitations, and then you can decide from there if it's something you want to consider further. Okay? So that's your job, is to find out who's curious enough to take information home and see if they'd like to talk with, don't call us your director, that freaks people out. Call us your trainer or your friend that helped you get started. Also know that we have a group we have a Facebook group called Not Knowing the Rules of the House.
You too can be a Pampered Chef director.
Percy. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have a group called the Think About It group. So if you meet someone at a show and they're hesitant, but they do not want to talk to us, your director or trainer, you can say to them, hey, we actually have a Facebook group called the Think About It group. There's all kinds of information about the business, and if you want, I can add you to that. Do you want to send me a friend request on Facebook? I'll add you to the group. You can check out all the information. There's even a little video with frequently asked questions. After you check it out, if you want, you can remove yourself from the group, or you can just stay in there for a while. Kind of float around, lurk around, see what you find. Okay. And here's the universal response for any hesitation they have about the business. If I could show you a way around that, would you want to learn more? If they say yes, say, great. Here's some information to take home. I'd like to schedule a time to kind of share more information about that. Okay? And you guys know that when you build a team in your first 90 days, 100 Pamper Chef dollars for every new consultant that you sponsor. Most people's first team members are people they already know. Sisters, best friends, co-workers. You know, think about people you know who would find this really fun and who you know that could use a little extra money. And hello, 75% off the products in the kit. Okay, so Jennifer, you're back at the checkout. You set a 4 for the business because you have a full-time job, 2 kids, and school. And the next info that you said, yeah, sure, I'll take some information home and we're going to talk. So Jennifer, I know that right now signing up for the business is something you're not feeling like you might have the time to do, but how about just a little pocket of time to have some friends over on a night that works for you so we can get you that rock crock that you were eyeing but didn't buy tonight. What do you think about having some friends over?
Sounds great. Okay,
great. All right, so then, and most people who are interested in the business usually do schedule parties. But here are some of the common hesitations from here to people booking. My house is too small. I don't know enough people. I'd love to, but I'm busy, or I'd love to, but I'm broke. Okay? Now, on your director's Facebook group, your team group, if you go under the search under files and type in booking hesitation cards and print them out, you will have a little stack of cards. Oh, I don't have them with me. They were right here. What do I do with them? They're about this big. You can take them with you. On one side, it says house too small, and you flip it over, and there's your response of what you can say. One says, I don't know enough people. You flip it over. There's your little cheat sheet. Too busy, too broke. Okay? So basically, here's what they say. House is too small. Usually I ask them first, is your house too small? Is your kitchen too small? Because sometimes if you're in someone's kitchen for a show and they're thinking, oh, my kitchen is a galley kitchen, I could never have a cooking show. But they've got a good sized family room. Yeah, it didn't occur to them we could move it to the family room. But if they say, no, my house is like a postage stamp, or, I've got too many people living in my house right now, or I've got a big dog, or whatever, for whatever reason, they can't use their house. How about hosting with someone who has a bigger place? Or how about when it's good weather, they could host outside? Or ask them if they've got a friend that they can co-host with. Or maybe even do it at the workplace. Okay, so just, how does that sound? And after you offer a solution, ask them, how does that sound? Do you have a family member or a friend that has a bigger place that you think you might co-host with? How does that sound to you? All of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Let me text my mom. When they say they don't know enough people, I say, how many people do you think you know? And they go, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. Fantastic. If I offered them a free gift for bringing a friend, do you think a couple of them would? Yeah. Okay, well, then that's enough. Want to give it a try? Do you think this took some practice for me to get this comfortable with it? Of course.
I hope so.
But you'll have the questions right there and the answers right there. When they say, I'd love to, but I'm too busy. Before you make your decision final, can I tell you how easy I make it for you? Really, for 15 minutes longer than it took you to be here tonight, you could be the host getting the shopping spree. Okay. And again, these are all on those cards. Too broke. Oh my gosh, if you're broke, first of all, we got to go talk about the business again because you need to be on my team. Second of all, you get free stuff as a host. Free. That fits everybody's budget. Okay. Take notes on the survey slips. If you offer them a solution and say, how does that sound? And they're still hesitant, just jot down what their hesitations were. Because after every single party, especially for the first 2 months of your business, you want to talk to your director within 24 hours. Okay. Now, some consultants don't want to call us all the time. We tend to hear from everybody when they say, I had a great show, I got 2 bookings, I got 800 in sales. But maybe when the party doesn't go so well, they're not so anxious to call their director. Guess what? You call us and say, I had a $700 party and I had 2 or 3 bookings. We as your directors, we're gonna go, yay. But that doesn't really help you. It doesn't build your business. We need to hear what you're struggling with. We're not going to critique you. We're not going to criticize you. We're going to help you find a solution for the things that you struggle with. But if you don't tell us about them, we can't help you with them, right? And would you all agree that if you were at a new job where you walked into an office, that you'd very often be turning around saying to your resource person, hey, what would you say in this situation? Or what should I be doing next? Or what would you do here? Or what should I be doing now? Yeah, of course you would. Mm-hmm. So think of us as we're your trainer at your new job. Okay, we want you to be as successful as you can be. So if you don't have a solution right away, you can't think of one, or they still have the hesitation, just write them down and talk to us after the party. And we can give you an idea, and you can then text that person and say, hey, I've been thinking about this situation, and I thought of an idea that I think could work for you. Do you have a minute to talk? We will give you the words to say. And even if you just want to text them, we'll message you, you copy and paste it right to them. Okay? All right. So after the full service checkout, you're going to take notes. Hopefully you're going to get some bookings, give out those host packets. If someone says they'd love to book, but they can't schedule a party that night, find out what month they want, find out whether they want a weekday or a week evening, and what's likely to work for them. Narrow it down a bit. Maybe send them home with a date or 2 and get permission to call them back in the next couple of days so that you can schedule a party before the close of the show so that their friend that they love, the host, will get credit for the booking. Do you guys know what a host gets when her friend books her show? They get a half-price item at that party, at each of the parties that book from them, a half-price item or set. It could even be a knife block set or a cookware set or a rock crock set. So we have to go in and click the little button and type in the date. So you want to make sure, so you can say to someone who says, I can't pick a date tonight, you narrow them down saying, would it be okay if I reached out to you in the next day or 2? If you happen to pick a date before I close out with Michelle, she's going to get the booking credit, which is going to mean an extra half-price item for her. So would it be okay if I reached out to you? I've never had anybody say, no, you can't. They're like, oh, yeah. I'll just go home and I'll check with my mom, or I'll check with my coworker, or whatever. Okay. So after the orders are done and you've packed up all your stuff, if the host is still chatting with her friends, you say, okay, I want to borrow you for a minute, and you kind of let them know where things stand so far. And now I'm going to give the floor to Michelle, talking about how we talk to that host before we leave that night.
Is this a new slide?
It is. I felt like they couldn't see the host reward chart if I just did a picture of the back of the catalog, because it's kind of small. So I just did the host rewards chart. But this is what appears on the back of the catalog.
Okay, so it appears on the back of the catalog. It also appears on your party planners as well. So can you see me, Karyn?
Yes, I'm just going to go use the bathroom.
Okay, you guys, in your kit, you'll get a couple of these party planners. So this is what you send your host with their host as their host packet. It has the information about their host rewards right on here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, because I can't see myself. Can you see it?
Really small.
We can see it.
Okay, good. Yeah, the picture is really small. I just have to tell you about these folders. I love them, but you don't have to use them. I don't use them. When the little folders, the Mead folders, are on sale with Staples, or I get these actually on Amazon. Okay, these are cheaper than these. Okay, and I buy these in bulk, and these are my host packets. And
What do you have in there?
oh, I'll show you a loaded one.
Well, I just saw on the folder pockets you had things.
Oh, right, yeah. I'll show you a loaded one. So even though I don't use these because I think they're expensive, I still use what it represents. You can actually print these off the Pamper Chef website. They're called party planners. Can you see okay?
Can see you, not whatever it is you're holding up.
Oh, okay. Can you see? Is this better?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Okay. So this is a party planner. It's the same thing as this little folder that you get in your packet. It's just cheaper. So you can print these out. I print them out front and back from the website. And then in my host packets, this is my host packet. Can you see it okay?
Yep.
I can't see myself. Oh, hi, there's me. Oh, look at that. My hair looked like that all night. Okay, host packet. On here, I just have my business card. Okay, you can get them from Vistaprint. On here, this is what's called a kit credit coupon. And I'll go into the details about what this is for, but you can also print these off Consultants Corner. If you do a search for kit credit coupon, you'll see a page of these. There's 4 to a page, cut them out, and I'll explain what they are. So in my host packet, I have one of these because I go over them with the host over the phone. I have a copy of the host special for the month that she's having her party. I have 1 or 2 order forms because people still like to fill them out, though most people do it online. So you can also, I do this for the month so that they can see what the free products are with their order of $75 or more. I put in 2 catalogs. No more than that. Nobody ever asks me for more because most people shop online. So if your host pack isn't too heavy, it's not going to cost you that much when you go to mail it. So that's what I have on this side of my host packet. On this side of my host packet, I have a Life Tastes Great brochure because most of new consultants were hosts first. So this is in their host packet so they can look through it. And then I just have this little flyer. You can ask Karyn for it or you can ask me for it. It's just a little bit of information about being a consultant. So this part is for my host's party, and this part is for my host to look at herself, or I also encourage her to give it to a friend if it's not for her. Very simple host packet. Cheaper than buying these. Okay, so the show's all done, and I'm sitting down with my host, and I'm telling her how much she has in guest sales. So say, for instance, her guest sales are $550.
I'll put the screen share back up so people can
Put the
see.
screen share back up. So say her sales are $550. Who can tell me how much she's going to get in free products?
$90.
Right. She's going to get $90 worth of free products. How many half price items is she going to get?
3.
Yep. And then what's her discount?
25%.
Right. So this is what I'll say to her. I'll say, oh, Susan, you did such a great job on your show. Right now, you have $90 in free products to pick out because your sales are at $550. Remember, you guys, when you're counting up her sales, if you're not doing it on your app or the website, if you're doing it by hand with a calculator, when you are calculating her host rewards, it goes by guest sales only, not including shipping. Okay. I made that mistake once. I added up the host order, the guest order, including shipping, and I told the host she had $610 in sales. No, she didn't. Okay. That was including shipping. When I realized my error was telling her she got for that. She got $115 worth of free stuff. When I actually really put it into the computer and it was like $580 before shipping, she wasn't happy. Okay, so it all turned out fine, but you know, make sure when you're telling her what her host rewards are, they are based on guest sales only. So I'm saying, oh, Susan, you have $550 in sales and guest sales so far. You're going to get $90 worth of free products. Isn't that awesome? Susan will say, yeah, that's great. And I'll say, but you know what? The show's not over yet. I remember you said you had 3 or 4 people who called to cancel today. So who is that? Okay, Julie, Debbie, Sally, and Bonnie. Okay, so we're writing these names down for our host. And then I'll say, okay, well, these people probably were interested in placing an order if they were planning on coming. Do you want to get in touch with those 4 people and let them know that we're closing out your party on Thursday? How does that sound? And Susie will say, yes, of course. And I'll say, and by the way, were there some people who meant to order but just didn't get to it before your party? Oh yeah, there was a couple of people at work who said that they were going to place an order, but I didn't see them come in. Great, follow up with those people, send them the link with a private message that says, so sorry you couldn't make it to my party, but we're holding it open till Thursday. Here's the link if you want to check out my shopping page. Which is so much less tacky than saying, hey, you want to place an order? I want to get to the next level. So you're giving the host the words to say, and the words to say are, sorry you couldn't come to my party. My party is open until Thursday. Here's the link if you want to check out my shopping page. So not only are we giving the host some ideas, we're actually giving her the words to say when she's following up with those people. So I'll say to Susie, oh my gosh, Susie, you're at 550 right now. Do you realize that if you get to 800 in sales, your $90 goes to $165? Can you imagine spending $165 like on a shopping spree for free stuff? Susie's going to go, yeah, wow, but that's so far away. I'll say it's really not that far away. When you figure the average order is about $50, that's about, that's right now, you're looking at another 6 or 7 orders. It's not so much like it's another $250. It's really only like another 6 or 7 orders. How does that sound to you, Susie? And Susie goes, yeah, I think I can get 6 or 7 orders. Great. And then your husband. Would your husband be willing to take the catalog into work? Well, no, because, you know, he like doesn't want to, you know, tell his work ladies that, you know, he's bringing in a Pampered Chef catalog. I said, well, you know, Susie, would you prefer to tell him that you want about $350 worth of free products, but you don't want to spend that much? That if he brings the catalog in, chances are you're going to get all of that stuff you want for free or half price. And then I will have the host say these words to her husband. I will give the host the words to say, and I will give the husband the words to say. If the husband's around, like while I'm still cleaning up, I'll say, hey, husband, or whatever his name is. I don't know, husband. I'll say, how would you like to bring one of these catalogs into work? Well, no, you know, I feel stupid bringing one in. Oh, well, do you feel stupid having your wife spend $350 on stuff she wants? How about if you bring a catalog into work and say to the ladies there or the men there, say, hey, my wife had one of these stupid parties. Does anybody want anything? And what will happen is if the people he works with want something, all of a sudden he's a hero and he comes back in to his wife and has a couple $100 in orders. If nobody wants anything, he won't feel stupid because he said it was stupid to begin with. Doesn't that make sense? He's either going to be a hero or he's not going to feel stupid. Either way, sometimes the husband gets a lot of orders when he has the words to say. So then I will set a date with the host to close out her party after I've given her some ideas on how to get some additional orders. At this point, I tell the host, have everybody order online. You don't want to hold up your party by having checks sent to me, because you'll have to send them through the mail, and that's going to delay your party submission a little bit more. So have everybody put their orders online. If someone absolutely wants to make out a check, are you comfortable with them making out the check to you? And then you can just kind of put their amount on your credit card to speed things up. I've never had a host say no to that. I don't tell her she has to. I ask her if she's comfortable doing that, and they all say yes. So then, along with all the host benefits, the free and the half price and the discounted stuff, what I will say to her is, I will say, Susie, I know we talked about this before when we were doing our host coaching, but are you interested in cashing in this coupon? This coupon lets you choose one of the starter kits for $50 off. You can use $50 of the host rewards to get the cost of the starter kit down by $50. You get $50 credit on the starter kit. Is that something that you're interested in doing? You had like 3 or 4 people at your party who want to have parties. Those 3 or 4 people could be your first parties. What do you think? Now, she might still say no, but again, she saw how people reacted to the parties. She saw how much fun her friends were having. You're telling her she's going to get a $50 discount on the starter kit? Yeah, maybe she's thinking about it again. And then I just say, give it some thought. We can talk about it when we close out your party on Thursday. So, okay, if I give you a call Thursday around 7, I can take the rest of any orders you have. I can take your order over the phone, and then, you can decide what you want to do with that $50 coupon. Okay, yeah, sure, fine.
And this is actually the time a lot of people do change their minds. Sometimes they say no because they can't imagine that their friends are really going to spend money on Pampered Chef. They can't imagine that their friends are really going to want to schedule parties. And when they see what their sales are and they see how many of their friends want to have parties, and they know that it's not a big commitment, they can just try out those handful of shows and see how it goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, if we don't say anything, then they don't.
Right.
Okay. So after the party, you're going to talk with your director. Okay. And have those service slips in hand with any notes that you've taken on them. Again, do what Michelle says and review with the host where her sales are. If you're not comfortable doing it the night of the party and you want to take it home and enter all the orders before you talk to her to make sure the totals are all right, that's fine. Just do it within 24 hours. Talk to the host about the business. Like I said, many change their mind at this time. And schedule a time to close it's within 48 hours. Don't say to your host, well, when you're done collecting orders, let me know. It's a kiss of death, okay? It is helpful if the host has a deadline that's close in. Because let's face it, this party's probably been, on the books for a couple of weeks. All these people have had 2 weeks to order. They haven't yet, okay? You give them another week and all they're going to do is procrastinate. So actually hosts, it's been found, hosts collect more orders when there's a tighter deadline. So if they message their friends on a Tuesday saying we're closing on Thursday, people just go, oh, I better do that now, and they get those orders. Enter the orders that are on the paper if you didn't enter them at the show, and follow up with those leads, those booking leads. You want to get the bookings entered so that the host gets credit. And there is a handout that has all of these on there, so you have to write those all now. Okay, and then closing with the host. The host actually can go right online and enter everything into her cart. Half price items, 60% off items, the rest. I find the 20-somethings are really good at that, and everybody else just calls me with their order, or they email me with their order. And you can enter it. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about how to do it. It's pretty user-friendly, but if you have a question about it, there's little, what do you call those little things you like a tutorial, like a 2-minute tutorial just about how to do the host order, or call your director because we can talk you through it in no time. After you send the show in, nobody's credit cards or debit cards are being charged until you press the send on a show. Another reason why you do not want to keep that show open a long time is people think their credit card, they gave you their credit card number, you emailed them a receipt, And they think their credit card's been run, even though you tell them it's not run until the party closes. They forget. And if you keep that party open a week, oh my gosh, they wake up one day, they go shopping, and they check their online balance that morning to see what was in their account, and then you press send. And even though it's not your fault, they are not happy with whom? With you or with Pampered Chef, because you just put their account into a tailspin. So that is another reason, big, huge reason why you want to close your party within 48 hours. All right. And then put a little reminder in your phone to reach out to people in a couple of weeks. You want to just either via text or a phone call or whatever, just to say, hey, I just wanted to make sure you received all your products, you take them out of the box, that you're happy with them. Because if someone has to do a return, we don't want them to be stuck with any products that they don't want, right? If they return something in the first 30 days, we just contact the home office and they email the person a prepaid postage label that they simply print out and put on the box and send it back for a refund or an exchange. Okay, so touch base with your customers. Some of them who maybe said no the night of the party will say yes to a booking 2 weeks later when you follow up with them. You'll be like, hey, I'm ready for that party now. Or you say to them after you've checked out whether they like their products, hey, would you like to hear what's on special now? And all of a sudden they hear a new special and they're interested. And by the way, the word choices for what we call customer care calls are all on Pampered Chef University. And then track your results. This is also on Pampered Chef University. Take a little time, like a minute after each party, just to write in your numbers. The first column is the name of the host and the date of the party. The third column in is how many were at the party, the attendance, okay? Then you write how many people took information home about the business, how many talked, it said, yeah, let's talk further, how many people signed, and how many parties were booked. Because each of these columns is a different skill, okay? So you'll see trends. And some of these columns are going to fall naturally into place for you, and some of them are not. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I haven't met a person yet, myself included, that just knocked it out of the park with all the columns. Okay? But, what Jennifer might have the attendance and the bookings down, but not a lot with recruiting, and somebody else might have the complete opposite. So this is going to show you what comes naturally to you and what you need to work on a little bit. And this is a great diagnostic tool. It's going to help us as trainers to be able to say, so this and this you're doing great on, but this is the thing you're struggling with. On Pampered Chef University, it's a great training. Check this out, and then let's talk afterwards. Okay? And then, like I said, go to a show of a seasoned consultant. Right? See how it all happens with real live people. If you aren't able to do that soon and you've got a kickoff party coming right up, on Pampered Chef University, you can actually watch some videos. They are real live cooking shows, these videos. They used to have like actors and actresses. You could like tell they weren't real, but they actually filmed actual consultants. And there are different styles. There's one who kind of stands up in the room and, does a demonstration. There's another style, which is what we kind of do, which is gather around, everybody cooks together. There's others where they kind of break up into 2 or 3 stations and they're all just doing their own thing all at once. I always say that, there's no one way to do this business. There's no one right or wrong way. You can do whatever you want. There's 2 things. We have 2 strong, hard and fast rules. Do not stab anybody with knives. Don't steal their money. Okay? But other than that, pretty much anything goes. Okay? So find a style that fits for you, but start with the one that we're teaching. It is tried and true for new consultants. You don't have to know a name of a product when you can get through an entire show very effectively. After you've done 8 or 10 parties, if you want to change it up a little bit, go for it. Like I said, you'll see different styles on the website if you want to check out what your options are. Okay, and I think that's, all right. So questions at this point. We are almost done. We got like 2 minutes left, and seeing how we started 2 minutes late, we're right on time. Questions, comments? What was the most helpful thing you heard tonight?
So we don't have to know everything.
Yay! Woohoo! What else?
I definitely.
The outline is going to be.
The outline, yeah. Your magic outline. Put it in a page protector. Save it forever and ever and ever.
And I definitely like the new setup.
The new setup, gather around. Yeah. I don't know why we didn't think of it a long time ago.
I don't know. It's a lot better than it used to be, especially for those who are not so great at the whole public speaking.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yep. Okay, so there's a little questionnaire I'd love for you guys to fill out and send to your director. Hopefully you all know who your directors are. Number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful did you find this training? 1 means it was terrible. It wasn't helpful at all. 10 means absolutely fabulous. Oh my gosh, my mind is blown, okay? Question number 2, what did you find most helpful? Question number 3, what do you feel like you maybe need a little more information about? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in learning about that fast track and that $500 to $2,000 cash bonus? 1, no way, not at all. 10, oh my goodness, yes, I need to hear about that. And then whatever number reflects your interest level.
So I have a random question. With that email that you sent earlier today, what are those bright ideas things? All it is.
Oh, I never told you about that. Yeah, it was just a sheet that had all these light bulbs on it.
Yeah.
If you were like me, you know, all of a sudden it's like you got your calendar and you got these little notes and sticky notes all over the place. Oh, what am I supposed to do? So the bright idea sheet is when you hear something, you're thinking, oh, I have to do that. Like, I have to go print out the booking slide, or I have to go print out those booking hesitation cards, or, oh, I have to go get mailing labels and use them as name tags. You put it on your bright ideas sheet. So that's one sheet that you can go to say, yeah, these are the big things I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to do. I want to schedule a party to attend, you know, the seasoned consultant, something like that. So just the things you want to make sure you don't forget. And seriously, if you print it out, those light bulbs are bright yellow. So it's easy to find on a desk that might have a little clutter. Hands out.
All right.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey, what are those light bulbs for?
Yeah. If I am your director, my email address is kbchef@comcast.net. Okay. So thank you guys for coming. I'm going to stop the screen share here. I will stay on for another couple of minutes in case you thought of any other questions. Upcoming dates. We do have a sales meeting if you're a local to the New Hampshire area or Southern Massachusetts. Monday, November 13th at SNHU. And there are signs right from when you get to the campus, there are signs where the park and where our building is. And then the other foundational training is 2 weeks from tonight, and that's Business Basics. What's that?
You're being hollow again.
Oh, sorry. So Business Basics is 2 weeks from now. That's via Zoom. And then the live thing for anybody who's local, that's once a month. It's usually on the second Monday of the month. And this Monday, it is the second Monday, the 13th.
And that's at SNU at what time?
7 o'clock.
I may be in the area, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and our focus is going to be how to maximize the holidays, okay? Not just shows, but holiday sales that we get outside of shows, outlet sales that we get, all that kind of stuff. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording.